In a vast and boundless forest, there lived a colorful bird. Every day, it flitted among the lush branches and leaves, listening to the gurgling sound of the stream and breathing in the fresh air. However, all of this seemed ordinary and uninteresting to it. It often looked towards the human world beyond the forest, filled with longings. It always thought that there was endless excitement there and was eager to have the opportunity to leave this forest. One day, while foraging for food, the bird was caught in a trap set by a bird catcher. When it found itself trapped in the small birdcage, instead of feeling any fear, it chirped excitedly, "Great! Finally, I've escaped this boring forest and can start a free and wonderful new life right away." Just like this. The bird was taken back to the bird catcher's home and placed in a delicate birdcage. Every day, the bird catcher would put delicious bird food into the cage. The bird hopped around merrily, spread its gorgeous feathers, and showed off its graceful posture, just to please the bird catcher. The bird catcher was really happy to see the birds so lovely and added a large handful of bird food. The bird pecked at the food greedily and took a nap on the perch. When it was full, it began to secretly rejoice in its good fortune and thought that its current life was the long-awaited happiness. It thought happily, "This is the life I deserve. I don't have to endure the hardships of the outdoors in the forest anymore." As days passed by like flowing water, the birds continued to live a seemingly carefree life in the birdcage. Gradually, the initial novelty wore off, and it started to feel a bit bored. But it had already gotten used to this comfort and no longer wanted to return to the forest that it had once found tiresome. It often admired itself in the smooth walls of the birdcage, which was like a mirror, and muttered, "I'm such a beautiful bird. I deserve to enjoy this kind of life." However, good times don't last long. One day, due to a sudden accident in his family, the bird catcher had to move away in a hurry. In the chaos, he packed all the important things, but forgot the beautiful birds that had once brought him joy. The bird flapped its wings desperately in the cage and shouted loudly, "Hey, take me with you. Don't leave me behind." But the only response it got was the empty room, and no one paid attention to its plea. The bird fell into deep sadness. It began to complain nonstop. It complained that the space in the birdcage was too small to stretch its wings. It complained that the daily food had become monotonous and unappetizing. It complained that the bird catcher's family was so cold-hearted to it. It even complained that when it decided to leave the forest, its companions didn't try their best to stop it. It blamed all the unpleasantness on the outside world and didn't reflect on its own choices. In loneliness and despair, the bird started to fantasize again. Maybe a kind-hearted and wealthy person would pass by here, discover the beautiful and pitiful self, and then carefully take it home and place it in a spacious and bright aviary, preparing the best food every day. The sun slowly rose, and the sunlight shone on the empty room, leaving only a shabby birdcage and a beautiful but already dead bird. The bird, because of its greed for the vanity and comfort of the human world, deviated from its original living space and ultimately ended up with a tragic outcome. If we always long for the recognition and approval of others, we will be overjoyed once we get it. But once we lose it, we will fall into the abyss of self-denial. When we overly rely on the affirmation of others to obtain dignity and a sense of satisfaction, we are actually giving away our happiness. This excessive vanity is like an invisible shackle that will fill our lives with pain and setbacks, making us lose ourselves in the illusory pursuit and lose the life that truly belongs to us. Only by adhering to our true selves and finding a space suitable for us can we understand the true meaning of life.